I was working on my laptop and suddenly there was blood stains on my pants. I didn't realize because I was on a call and I didn't realize that my pants are already red. So yeah, my brothers, what he did was he just told me that your pants are red, you need to cover that and wash off when you're free. So yeah, that was an awkward situation for me because I was just standing in front of them. I was on a call and it just started bleeding and I didn't even realize that it was bleeding.
I got big tidbits. You are listening to Tidbits. And what is this tidbit about?
Period and pregnancy talks with men.
If she is angry, don't ask her that is she on her periods. That's the most wrong thing.
And stop period shaming women. I mean, you really have no goddamn idea what is going on in their bodies, apart from the biological process that it is.
We've all had those awkward moments when we're like, what? Especially the ones with our families where we don't know where to look or what to say. So, what is the most awkward conversation you probably had with your parents, siblings, or actually the other way around? What is the kind of awkward conversation your parents have had with you? Does the P word come to your mind? Well, for me, most of it is related to either discussing sex or just cringing when we have to watch bold movie scenes, and yeah. So the P word is, it's not rocket science. Well, what's the P word? It's the most natural thing for women to go through. Periods, and yes, pregnancy, the two bombs that I'm not sure men can handle. But so we just want to check in, how are we really comfortable discussing sex and periods or even pregnancy with our brothers or fathers? What was that first conversation like when they were like, "Beti badi ho gayi hai"? You know what I mean?
Hi, my name is Siddharth Alambayan. I am 28 years old and I live in Mumbai. No, I have had cousins who are sisters and my mother, but they've never really discussed periods. In pregnancy also, yeah, my mother has discussed her pregnancy very vividly, and probably always because we thought we were slightly overweight children when we were born. So she had to have a C-section and there were some complications. So we've always known about the pregnancy. Sex was never openly discussed. That's just how the household has been. I learned about sex at about the age of 6, 7 standard, maybe a little earlier than that. And when the first time a guy told me that you were born out of intercourse, I was like, no, that's not possible. My parents don't do such stuff. Then there was a lot of misconception that porn brought in. So porn really messed it up because I had to completely unlearn everything that I'd seen over there, and that wasn't the normal, and seemingly okay to be however you are.
Hi, my name is Sagar Pukate. I'm 25 years old and I live in Mumbai. So we never had that situation wherein we can discuss this kind of topic. But definitely in future, if we have any opportunity, we might and we will. Yeah. And it was at the age of 14, I guess, I discovered periods. I mean, yeah, I'm okay with that. I don't react very awkward or something. Like, I'm not surprised because it's natural and it happens naturally to girls. And there has never been an awkward situation or conversation between me and my sister, or it's my mother. But if at all we have any kind of situation, we will discuss.
And what about the girls? Do they speak to their brothers or fathers about something like this?
Hi, this is Aishwarya Pukate from Mumbai. Honestly speaking, yes, I've spoken with my brother about my period issues and everything. They are very open and I'm very frank with them. So I don't mind discussing anything with them. Whether it's about my dress or anything else, yes, I have discussed about periods as well. And talking about sex and pregnancy, I have not spoken it about my sex life with them, but yes, I have discussed things with my brother. If it is related to my friends or anything else, yeah, I have done that. To be very honest, by God's grace, they are very frank with me. My brothers are really like a very chill kind of people. So yeah, I do discuss things. I'm very comfortable to ask my brother to bring pads for me or tampons. I just have to mention them which brand do I want, what size do I want, and they are very comfortable about it. They don't even care. Even if I tell them that I'm on my periods, I need to take a leave and I want pads. So yeah, they are very comfortable. They do bring sometimes and it has happened.
Hi, my name is Ria and I'm from Mumbai. We didn't have a very clear conversation or so about it, but it has never been awkward to talk about periods, especially in front of my brother. And with my dad as well, if I am in pain during periods or is there something with pain related periods, it's not awkward telling him or sharing it with him.
So, talking about situations, we've all had those funny moments and conversations with our parents, siblings, which is definitely cringeworthy, right? But it's all for the best.
There was one. I was working on my laptop and suddenly there was blood stains on my pants. I didn't realize because I was on a call and I didn't realize that my pants are already red. So yeah, my brothers, what he did was he just told me that your pants are red, you need to cover that and wash off when you're free. So yeah, that was an awkward situation for me because I was just standing in front of them. I was on a call and it just started bleeding and I didn't even realize that it was bleeding.
Well, of course, it's never easy the first time, but we have to get used to it. And I think we must break that ice. We must not make it such a big deal in our heads and discuss things more often with them. And you know what? Social media has made it easier for many to open up, hasn't it?
Media and advertisements are very, these things have helped me understand things in a better way, what exactly I have to do and what kind of things that I have to use when I'm on periods, which pad do I have to use. Yes, in that matter media has helped me. And but speaking about talking with the family and all, I don't think any of the advertisement over there has been brought or I have seen any of those things that we have to discuss these things and all. But I've only seen the precaution measures that we need to use, whether it's about tampons or about the pads or about the, that cup. This is all that precaution measures, I would say, that has been shown on social media, but not about things like we have to discuss it with family or anything. I would be happy if any of them does that because this is a really serious issue for a girl when she faces any of this problem related to her genetical parts. So yes, there should be something brought up in social media.
Social media has definitely helped the society. It was always an open thing for me. Social media didn't have a different impact, but yes, it surely has benefited a few others to talk about it openly and make it more comfortable for them to speak about. And in society also in general, now periods or sex or pregnancy has become a very normal topic and it has been normalized a lot, which is a great thing.
But there's also a flip side to this. Boys will be boys and then they can have a guilt trip of, teasing their female friends or sisters or just crack period jokes. I mean, happens all the time, right?
Yes, I have, and I'm guilty of it. And I have over time learned to sort of unlearn the whole thing, realize that it is complicated, realize that it is a system that men will never understand, realize that cramps and stomach aches and mood swings are words you can't throw around loosely because they're hurtful or they're hurting, and then we say things which are the judgment is too soon. I mean, it's passed too soon, and it shouldn't be that way. That needs to change for sure. Men need to learn and, maybe live with a woman to know that, it works very differently. Sometimes pre-period mood swings are also a thing and they can last X number of days depending on how it is going to be. Delayed periods or periods that come often or extremely delayed periods are all things that happen and are common and are natural. And men need to learn. Men need to really, really step up their game and stop saying a few things for sure.
No, that's the most baddest thing and worst a person could do ever, because teasing someone the way they are made biologically is the most worst thing a person could do. And that's wrong. Ethically, it's wrong. Because school never taught us about what happens to girls during periods or something. I guess the education system should include such topics which are useful for Indian men in their future. Also, they should include feminism, I guess. Yeah, they should include that.
It's true that conditioning starts from school, and be it those awkward sessions of barely any sex education, all this adds up to making girls conducive to an environment to accept this bodily change and not see it as shameful or embarrassing. So, the National Family Health Survey 2015-2016 said that nearly 23% of girls have listed menstruation as the chief reason or the main reason of dropping out of school. And of course, over time, the tier 2, tier 3 city level, there have been awareness programs, but many of them are shy of talking about it or shy of explaining to people what they're really going through. So yes, it starts from school, and we can do away with those giggly boys referring to the period as the girl's problem or something that they should not talk about. And lastly, here are some important and sweet messages from men to other men about how to deal with a conversation like that, how to understand what women are going through a little better. You have to hear this.
whoever is listening to this, please make sure that you don't tease anyone on their periods or the way they are, because that's the most worst thing you could do. And periods are natural. तो होता है, वो सबको होता है, तुम्हारी मम्मी को भी होता होगा, बहन को भी होता होगा. That's a natural process. उसका मतलब ये नहीं कि आप लोग differentiate करो उनको. And please don't, चलो stress out मत कराओ उस बात पे. If she is angry, don't ask her that is she on her period. That's the most wrong thing.
To any men listening this, because I know you guys are, as boys, you don't need to laugh about the biology that we come with. I mean, I remember very specifically, we remembered the page number on which there was a dick and a vagina drawn. And it was just something that we would giggle and like find uncomfortable with, so replace it with laughter. And then we probably didn't even take that learning very well, because it's a very exam-led situation that we live in, and that's for another podcast maybe. But we just remembered the things that we needed to for our exams, and that is not how biology works. I mean, the biology stays with you forever, for a lifetime. And if you happen to be hetero male who's talking to female and discussing and living and being in a nice relationship, then the more you know, the better you will be. You'll realize that you might have said things, and there's always an open ground to saying, I didn't know about this, and try to enlighten yourself by reading, watching. There's enough content and more on YouTube, on podcasts like these, where you can learn a lot. And the more you learn, the better human you will be. Yeah. And stop period shaming women. I mean, you really have no goddamn idea what is going on in their bodies, apart from the biological process that it is. And I definitely respect their privacy, definitely respect their space, and definitely respect their emotions during that time.
It's time I find another hot topic to make you uncomfortable with. Catch the Tidbits podcast on Hauterfly every Wednesday.